afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Twist Gaming. My name is Ann, and I'm here live at Gen Con 2017 in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I am joined here today with the lovely Alison Haislip.
Hi.
Hi. As well as Kamran from IELLO Games.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about some of IELLO's new releases, talk about how Alison will be working with IELLO as far as King of Tokyo as like a brand ambassador, right?
For the whole entire company, not just King of Tokyo.
So awesome. Very cool. So you guys want to take it away? Where do you want to start?
Why don't you go?
Well, I think this is the coolest thing you can get at Gen Con 50.
That is very awesome.
Mainly because it's me.
Is that? Who would have thought?
I know. Yeah, but this is an exclusive that they're doing at the cons for King of Tokyo and King of New York.
Yeah.
It's my own character, Alison.
It's very cute.
And I'm a 50-foot tall katana-wielding ninja destroying buildings in a city near you.
With that name, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
that was
very
great.
creative.
I've been saying I can't believe no one's like called me that ever before in my life. You know, it's so obvious. But yeah, you can pick up this thing, and I've been here all weekend doing signings and things with that. And so it's been a lot of fun.
For those of you who might not know, where will people recognize you from?
Well, I got my start on Attack of the Show on the G4 network eons and eons ago.
Yeah.
R.I.P. G4. But since then, I've done a bunch of stuff with Nerdist and Geek and Sundry. I've done Tabletop Day multiple times on Geek and Sundry. I was one of the hosts on BattleBots on ABC. So yeah, I've been around. I've been in this gaming business for a long time.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to have a life-size King of Tokyo here at Gen Con?
We have it. We've been having tournaments all week or all weekend, and
Awesome.
it's going to culminate with the final final game. Alison playing her own Alison monster against 5 lucky fans.
Wait, you didn't tell me this was a tournament.
Well, it's not so much. It's not so much a tournament. But,
Like, wait a minute, I have to be good then.
well, no, I mean, you know, the winner gets a big prize. So.
Yeah. Is it my piece? Is it the giant-sized version of my piece?
No. That would be weird. They're going to take that
home
home.
with Alison? Is that what this?
Yeah.
Cameron, are you selling Alison? Is this how this is?
No way.
I feel like
That's what
they
being a
should
brand
have been-
ambassador is.
No, that's awesome. How do the lucky fans get to be involved in the tournament?
Well, it's a we have scratch-off tickets at the booth, and when you go there and you spend over $50, you get a scratch-off ticket. If there's 5 of them in there that have the gameplay with Alison, and we've already given away 4. There's 1 left.
Ooh, it's like the golden ticket in Charlie Chocolate and the Chocolate Factory.
Yep. So that lucky person will get it at some point today, and then we'll have the tournament at the end of the day.
That's super excited. How did you get involved with becoming the brand ambassador for IELLO?
Well, I've known Cam for a few years now before he started working with IELLO. And then when he joined on to IELLO, he hit me up and he was like, hey, they're actually thinking about getting a brand ambassador on board. Is that something you would be interested in?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what would that entail? And he's like, you know, promotion, stuff like that. You play the games and you talk about them. And I'm like, so my job will be to play board games and then talk about board games? I think yes. I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Easy decision.
Yeah, I try to make a lot of decisions when it comes to my career like that. You know, I look at a project and I go, will I have fun doing this? Then I will most likely say yes. And this was an obvious one, you know. And then of course I said yes. We signed contracts and all that kind of stuff. And then just boxes and boxes and boxes of board games arrived at my front door.
Darn.
And I was like, oh, I got some work to do. Yeah.
So which games from IELLO have you been able to get your hands on, and which are your favorites?
Well, as Cam knows, because I've been making him play it with me all weekend, Sea of Clouds is definitely one of my favorites.
I saw you guys playing that game as we walked on up.
Yeah, I finally started beating him.
Yeah. 3 times in a row in the last game.
Man, but yeah, I love that game. I love the simplicity of the game, and I love that it's a game that you can sit down with a friend. Takes 5 minutes to talk it through, and then you can play through a couple rounds in 20 minutes. And I also love games where you don't score until the end, because then you don't really know how you're doing until that very last round.
I guess it also takes the edge off of knowing where your opponent is and constantly comparing yourself.
Right.
Oh, he's like a couple points ahead of me.
Yeah,
I gotta do
you can't do that in this game, which is awesome.
Tell me a little bit about it, just thematically, because I haven't had the chance to look at it yet.
Yeah. Well, you're pirates, but you're I was about to say space pirates. That's not correct. You're sky pirates. That's got to be the next one. The Space Pirates.
Space of Clouds.
Space of Clouds. Yeah, no, you're in airships and you're flying from island to island basically, and at every island you get to play a round, which is like raiding different loot. Oh yeah, here we go. See?
Hey, there we go.
Right?
that artwork is gorgeous.
And then you have to decide which loot you want to take, because if you don't take certain loot, your competitor pirate has a chance to take that loot instead. And then on certain islands, you have to battle each other, and depending on how many pirates you have and what their strengths are, how many crew members you have and what their strengths are, you either win the battle or you lose the battle. If you win, you obviously get bonuses and things like that, and you go through an entire map, and then once you hit the last battle, you tally up everything you've collected, all of your loot. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Who was the designer behind that game?
This is Antoine. I'm sorry. This is Théo Rivière and Miguel Coimbra.
Very
so it's
cool.
yeah.
It's a gorgeous game.
It is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Thematically, the art, the cards, if you can see on the back, it's great. And it incorporates a Winston Draft, which old school Magic players would know about, but it's sort of bringing that mechanic back to board gaming, which is really cool.
Very
so
cool.
where you look at one card, if you like it, you keep it. If not, you put it down, but then you put another card on top of it, so that your opponent then gets a choice of 2 cards after that. So you go down the line, basically. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, and we also have a couple more new games coming out. You've got Bunny Kingdom, and Mountains of Madness by Rob Daviau.
Yeah, we got Bunny Kingdom right here. Bunny Kingdom is a drafting game, drafting and area control. So you're drafting cards over 4 rounds. You're playing 2 cards 5 times a round, if that makes sense. So you're drafting 2 cards, you play, you draft 2 more cards, play, and so you're out of 10 cards total in each round. And then you're placing your little bunnies and your cities all over the map, and then you're scoring points in various different ways by basically controlling area and gaining resources that are in that certain area or that you put onto those areas.
And Keith told me that basically in this game, you're trying to become heir to the throne.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
I've stolen the joke.
Exactly.
And you've got Mountains of Madness by Rob Daviau.
Yes.
This game is, pun intended, insane. I got to play this game for the first time 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And the point of the game is collecting enough artifacts or relics to justify the injuries that you get while you travel up a mountain and then escaping. Like, that's the game.
Yeah.
But then when you start playing it, you realize what the game is trying to figure out how to communicate with your teammates based on the type of madness you have been assigned, which seems like such a secondary thing in the game. Like,
Right.
it doesn't seem like the point, and then you realize, oh no, this is what the game is all about, is you get handed these madness cards, and then all of a sudden, you can only talk with your tongue stuck to the top of your mouth. Or you can only talk like this, but you can't look at the person you're talking to. And trying to decipher the type of madness that your teammates have is the most fun of the game.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. It was explained to me like this is based off of an H.P. Lovecraft novel, Mountains of Madness, and that Rob Daviau really wanted to bring out the emotion that came with going through that experience of going mad, more or less.
Yeah.
And being frustrated, I guess, from all the mechanics of how you need to communicate during the game.
And plus you're taking wounds. I mean, everyone's getting hurt as you're going up the mountain. People are going crazier and crazier, and hopefully you don't go that so crazy that you can't make it off the island or up the mountain.
I'm also a big fan of games like this because they're more and more common these days, but games where all the players play against the game. You're not playing against each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Sticky Chameleons is one I haven't seen yet.
So what you do is you remember like back in the old days where you had the sticky tongues or or sticky grabbers. So everyone has a sticky grabber, and you roll some dice, and whatever the color and insect whatever comes up, you have to be the first person to grab that off the table.
Oh, this sounds like it
so
could
you're
get very
slapping the
interesting.
table with your sticky tongues, but then in order to score, you have to be able to pull the insect off the tongue before someone else. And while you're doing that, other people can try to get it off your tongue. So now you're slapping each other with the tongue. So it is.
You have to see how ridiculous these things are, though.
I was going to ask if you got points off for hitting other players with them.
This is so good. And then you can slap it off other people. Yeah,
Can you get it?
Oh.
Just knocking yourself over now.
It went. You saw it. It was there.
It's a little hard when she's standing up. I don't know. Here, wait, I'll just go in the pieces out of the box.
It's good. Welcome to my devolving interview, guys.
Picture 4 adults standing around a table doing just...
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's great. Who was the designer behind this?
It's a family fun game. So Théo Rivière, Cedric, Barbe, Rémy, Tornior. They're our French team. I believe this is an in-house game. Cedric is one of the co-founders of IELLO France and one of the owners of IELLO.
I want to have been in one of those development meetings.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's come up with a game where you hit each other with sticky things.
Yeah.
I think that about all of these games that I see out here at Gen Con. Like, you walk around and you're like, here's a board game about finding truffles.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what was that person doing in their life where they were like, this would be a great game? And then they actually created it with all the game mechanics and everything. I find that so fascinating here at Gen Con.
A lot of the developers are really interesting, and I've been very fortunate to interview a lot of people, and everybody's approach is so different. Mountains of Madness, I feel like, and I'm not 100% sure, but some designers start like emotion first, or mechanics first, or theme first, and then build off of that, which is what it really intrigues me about this game, is because it feels like it's a very emotions first kind of game.
Right. Yeah.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the availability of all these games right now?
Absolutely. All these games are available here at Gen Con, and they will be at the local game stores on Monday. Okay. And then at IELLO, we're very, conscious of taking care of our local game stores, and so we don't. So basically, they get a 2-week window to put them in their stores before they go out online.
That's awesome. There's a lot of talk in the community about wanting to support that brick and mortar front or local game store as opposed to the internet sales and the fight between that. And I think that's a really beautiful thing that you allow the game stores to have the extra 2 weeks in order to get it out to the customers first.
We look at them as our partners, and we want to support them as much as we can so that they can, make as much as they can, because they're dying out, and we really need to keep them going if we want the hobby to survive, because, where do you learn to play these games? You can't learn on Amazon.
Learn at the stores,
yeah.
And that's where you really find the community as well.
Exactly.
What do you guys have coming down the pipeline?
We have our King of Tokyo Halloween expansion coming out next month, and then we have some other stuff I can't really talk about, but some really, really cool things that are going to be coming out for Q1.
Not even a little bit?
There's like this really big book.
Yeah.
And there may be an expansion for that coming. We have our King Kong monster pack, which is coming out, which will be we had our Cthulhu monster pack that came out, which is the first one for King of Tokyo and King of New York. We have our King Kong one coming out. And then we have some surprises for Essen.
That's very, very exciting. Will you be joining them at Essen as well?
I don't know. Am I?
It's in Germany. Do you speak German?
Yeah. I do.
Oh, then perfect.
Ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen.
I
think I just said I speak a little German.
I think I got insulted in German. Yeah. That's what I feel happened. Is there anything else you want to make sure our audience knows before we bid adieu?
No, I mean, that's it. I mean, if you're at Gen Con, come by and see us at booth 249. Yeah, definitely get an alley.
You can only get it here.
Exactly. Pick up Bunny Kingdom, pick up Mountains of Madness, and just have fun playing IELLO games.
We're very excited to see who the 5th person is that gets the scratch-off ticket.
I am too.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I'm going to take them down.
It's on. It's on like King Kong?
Sure. Yeah. That works.
Do you have anything coming up?
Well, I have a weekly podcast called The Half Hour Happy Hour with Alison and Alex, and people can check that out. We're on the Nerdist Network, and you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever really you listen to podcasts. And then this fall, a show that I shot with Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion, Con Man, is coming out on the SYFY channel. It was originally only available online behind paywalls, and now SYFY has snatched it up, and they're going to air seasons 1 and 2. So catch that this fall on SYFY.
Very exciting. Yeah. I want to thank you both very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Have a great night.